Welcome back. Now, last night's World Cup qualifying match between Nigeria and DR Congo delivered one of the biggest shocks in African football this year. The Super Eagles started brightly with an early goal from Frank Onyeka, but the momentum shifted after Victor Osimhen's injury. And of course, DR Congo capitalized, drawing level and eventually sending Nigeria out 4-3 on penalties after extra time. It's a result that has left fans heartbroken and analysts questioning the team's status, mentality, squad depth, and overall preparation. From defensive lapses to missed penalties and even the post-match controversy involving Nigeria's coach, this game has raised more questions than answers. So joining us now to help break it down is Dominic C. Obaji. He's a football analyst and commentator. We'll be examining what went wrong with Nigeria, what DR Congo got right, and what this result means for the Super Eagles going forward. Good evening, Dominic.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I want to listen. Okay. It's heartbreaking for everybody. Even if you're not a lover of Nigeria, but this is football, you know. So, to an extent, hello.
Yeah, Dominic, can you hear us?
Okay, I can hear you now. To an extent, it's affected people hugely. There was this man I know that didn't eat throughout yesterday.
Wow.
So that is they let people take serious
Yeah.
football serious, especially when it comes to national team games.
All right.
So what happened yesterday?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, what happened yesterday is unfortunate. It's just unfortunate, and to be honest, everybody has a lot to say. So many factors contributing to the negative outcome and all that. But
Oh.
I believe from whenever things are kept, as in things are done right, maybe we start seeing a good result and all that. So,
Now, we are starting off with, I would like you to give us your own overall assessment from the first blow of the whistle to the extra time down to the penalty shootout. Your overall assessment of the match.
okay, okay. Football is a game of passion, and when you're talking about passion, that means emotions. So, and when emotions are involved, things are ought to be like things are as in ought to be treated like more delicate, or how should I put it? Okay. Now, the issue with what happened yesterday didn't just start from when the whistle was blown for match to start, to kick off. It started way back. It started with the psychology of the players, how willing they are to sacrifice. It started off pitch. As we all know, the issues that the Nigerian players had with the NFF requesting for what they were owed. You can't have that mentality and you will perform at the highest level.
Okay.
I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
You can't have that something bugging you. This is somehow, it's just as if you are ready to die for someone, and the person is not ready to, as in, stop putting themselves in a place where you will die for them. Just as if they're taking your sacrifices for granted. So the whole issue, the whole imbalance that led to all this negative outcome started from even before the whistle, even before the first match. Because for years the NFF has been owing the footballers. For years, you can't owe your workers and you were expecting like a smooth, certainly a smooth workplace. Definitely, there will be people bearing grudges. Imagine retired players are being owned and are being owed, and these people are as in friends with people, active players. So how would you want me to know that? Want me to perform at my best? Where my brother who served the way I served, I'm the one I'm serving now. is being owed for years, and there's no plan of them being paid. You see where the first psychology, like as in thwarting that passion, that game of passion, making it emotions. See where it all started. Now match starting. Let's now go back to my starting. First of all, I don't know how. I'm sorry, but I have to question how experienced the coach is, because starting from the lineup he started, you just whooped, as in just won your previous match with the whooping 4-1, which was very very sad, and you performed well. Then you're coming to the most important match of the whole event, and you're changing your formation, tweaking how you started, what was working for you. Okay, you started with the pivot middle. You started with the pivot middle of Ndidi and Onyeka. Fine. Then what about Iwobi? Iwobi that needs a box to box, someone that we, as at least another defender that will help flow the ball from midfield to attack with him. He's the creative midfield. You don't expect him to. But this formation alone, like, pushed him off the match entirely. He was basically isolated. Onyeka and Didi were just sitting at the front of the pack, front of the defense, as in pulling ball into the net. I can count how many times he will be touched the ball. But mind you, Iwobi was the heart of, in fact, the habit of the first game we played before.
Yes.
So how come you as a coach and you need us to qualify, then you are going into the most important match of the season, and you are changing what has been working for you with no reason? Okay, then that is not enough. You have to pull off the only creative player you have, instead of to make amend to instead of going back to what has been working for you. You brought into the game another thing entirely new by removing Iwobi and putting in Tolu, the new Wolverhampton striker. How? Like, what is the game plan from there? That is where, like, the whole game scattered. Okay. Then the Tolu is your tactical sub, I believe. Then when the match finished during what is it called, extra time, you removed Tolu to put in a defender, and this was just 3 minutes before penalty. Who does that? Who does that? Tolu is a striker, and naturally the strikers are more, as in better penalty takers than defenders. Then 3 minutes to defenders. Your opponent is putting, as in subbing in a good penalty. That's a good penalty keeper in place of the one that started the match, preparing for the penalty. And you, the inexperienced coach, I'm sorry to call him that in a live television, but yes, he's inexperienced at this point. Then you are removing your striker, who is more comfortable to take your penalty, and you're putting in a defender. You're putting in a defender. So then, how is defender supposed to, like, how make that make sense? You get what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And this is the same problem you removed the wall before. That means you don't have any game plan. That means you don't have any plan at all. The sub we just what we call in football a panic sub. Let me just gamble to know if this works. You get? Let me just gamble. Okay. Then the penalty started. You went ahead, starting your penalty with your defenders. How?
All right. Now, so we are still.
Like, how does that make sense?
We are still.
I really have a lot to say about this. How does that make sense? You started your penalty with the defender who balloons the ball over the bar. Of course, all he knows how to do is clear the ball from defense. He balloons the ball, killing the momentum of everybody. That comes after him. But then what your opponent started with an attacker. Yes, the attacker missed his ball. That's alright, but that is the most basic thing, the first thing that comes to your head when it comes to penalty. If this is, at least I believe they must have planned it or prepared for penalty before. There's no way you're telling me that his plan was to start with defenders, or to remove your striker, Tolu, that Wolverhampton paid so much to bring in because of his quality, then to put Awazim, who is not even a starter, even in his club. So, make it make sense. You see, the inexperience of the coach where he got us to. Yes, I know some people will say he inherited a bad performing team and he brought them this far.
Yes.
Forget that thing. Forget it. There's no far. Yeah, he has done his best, but most times it's the abilities of this player that made us like get to where we are now and their passion to like try for Nigeria. But I've been watching. He doesn't have this or what it takes to take us that far. But that is where the another question comes in play.
No, Dominic.
Well, at this point,
Dominic, let's look at
yes?
it from this other angle. I know this is really funny, but he made a statement. He said that he accused the DR Congo that they used voodoo on him, you know, on them. That's why it happened the way it happened. Do you seem to believe that in any way? You know, we are still Africans. We are still Nigeria.
Sorry, come again. I didn't get you.
The coach, you know, Eric Chelle said that they used voodoo on them. Do you believe that?
I just finding excuses, man. Just finding excuses.
Okay.
We are all Nigerians. We've been there. When you are thoroughly beaten, you find some excuse to hold your hand on. Just find
but you never can tell. He said he saw something like water, you know, on his face. But that's by the way, though. That's on the lighter side. What is your assessment of what's his name again? Osimhen's performance and that of Lookman?
Okay, Lookman, like I mentioned before, football has a lot to do with mentality. He has not been the best when it comes to that, especially how his coach at the club level is treating him, how he's not performing there, how the issues he's having. He's the current reigning African best player. Yes, he deserves to be among the squad, but is he fit enough to start mentally? That is the question. Is he fit enough to start mentally? So I understand that he's not performing. Lookman is a player I really like a lot. So I understand why he's not performing. But why is the coach selecting him? And if you notice the sub, you put him in every match, he comes around, dances up and down, then you remove him early too. The same sub. Just as if he's trying his luck. Just as if he's trying his luck at that point. Like, he's not fit mentally to perform. Even at club level, he's not doing well. Everybody knows that. So why are you still calling him? Why are you not as if you don't call him, but at least give other players a better chance, as in chance to people that are willing and capable. For Paris FC, Moses Simon is one of their starters and he does absolutely well. Like he performs well, one of the best players, he starter and all that. He's informed. Why don't you start your informed players? Then for Osimhen, honestly, we all know that Osimhen is the heartbeat of the team. So without Osimhen scoring goals, without Osimhen being there, the tempo and the current that flows within the team will not be there. You watch him sometimes coming deep to collect the ball from midfield and all that. And immediately he got injured after the first half. I said in my mind, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Because he's an attacker. Throw anything at him, he attacks it.
Yes.
Like he's a solid attacker.
Yes.
Yeah. So immediately he got injured. I was like, man, we are in on a long term. And to prove it, we were in on a long term. So that was it.
So let's move out a bit from yesterday's match. Now, a whole lot is happening with the football situation in Nigeria. With what is happening and what has happened in time past, what do you think is the future of the Super Eagles? I mean, we never really make it to the World Cup. I mean, this is like the second time that this is happening. And then we have the African Cup of Nations coming up next year. How do you think we should, prepare ourselves? Or should we just forget football and Super Eagles entirely for a while, maybe till they put themselves together and understand what they really want out of football?
We have to go back to the grassroots. Check the team that performed yesterday. More than half of the team were not, they were all born and brought up abroad. They just came back to play for Nigeria. They could have chosen another country and all that. We have to go back to our grassroots. We have talented players, even in every street, in every corner of Nigeria. You have talented players. we have to go back to. This is where NFF has to like come in play. But again, case of corruption.
Exactly.
Like there's this rumor circulating now that NFF has embezzled over 45 million since 2019 until date, $45 million.
Oh wow.
So allegedly though, so it's a rumor circulating. Circulating that they have embezzled, and the issue there is because our football federation is headed by politicians, not football enthusiasts. As like it's headed by politicians. You can't. There's no way you put in someone that doesn't know how to. Nothing concerns them about football to head you in football. It's just like telling a blind man to like you that sees you. A blind man is crossing you a major road. Una too go die now. So that is what is happening now. The best thing is to go back to the grassroots. Yes, I have accepted our fate that for the nearest foreseeable future.
Yes. Can you
sorry,
hear us?
I've accepted our fate that for the nearest foreseeable future, we are going to struggle. And that is because most of the players we have, I'm sorry to use this word, but they are almost turning into a fossil. That basically can't perform. When it was at his best, only him can take any midfield or anywhere in the world. But my man is getting old now. And these players are phasing out. But there's no hope for younger players.
So are you saying there is need to scout for fresh talents? Do you think this will help revive the spirit of football for the Super Eagles?
Yes, at least bring those players early. Scout them early. Like make sure that these talents are there already. Because right now, okay, see what happened when our female team, our female young players went for. See how they were like embarrassed. Let's not just go into that, but they were embarrassed. Because we are not scouting for talent. When you get there, you see that someone has connection paid for their name to be added. The talented ones are, and this is because basically people leading these affairs are politicians and not sportsmen. Okay, let's take for example a country like Cameroon. Cameroon was corrupt. Their football federation was corrupt and all that. As a matter of fact, they faced what Nigeria was facing. They became like a shadow of their past self until Samuel Eto'o became the chairman of their federation, football federation. Did you see the sudden change? Did you see how everything changed? This is someone that at least he understands the passion. He knows what it means to have a talent and you are playing for that talent. There's no way a player, someone that knows what it feels to be inside the pitch, the pain, the joy, as in to lose and to win. He understands it with the players and know how we won't take care of those players. Know how we won't go to the grassroots and like take Barcelona FC, the academy. About 7 of their young players there are from Cameroon. And the person that pushed them there is Samuel Eto'o. Okay. As young as they were, they prepared them. They are training with Barcelona FC and they grow up to become one of the best players in the world tomorrow. Why Nigeria has no one? Because we are not going back to our grassroots. There's no structure to go to even if we decide to. Because these politicians heading our NFF, they are not doing all this. So for this to be like maintained and cured, we have to go back to our grassroots and work on like harnessing our talent. We have enough of those. Come to the streets, watch boys play. And these are boys that have gotten frustrated. Most of them are getting into petty thefts and all that because football, which they believe could have brought them out of the trenches, like there's no hope for them.
But then,
so we should just go back to
Dominic. You just mentioned something very important now. Do you think the Nigerian government is really investing enough, to really uplift the football sector? Do you think they're really doing a lot? Because you mentioned other countries and the academy they have. Do we even have something like that? The facilities these people use, how well equipped are they to really bring out the best from these players?
when you say doing enough, I felt like it was an overstatement, because they are not doing anything, bro. They're not doing anything. Let's be serious. Check, for instance, what happened with Kenya and Nigeria. The same amount was given to them to build a world-class stadium. I don't know if your media team has the picture that can put it up. We all saw what Kenya came up with and what Nigeria came up with. So this is so heartbreaking.
So how can the government,
like,
how can the government and the NFF come together and take away that narrative of players being owned? We've heard of cases whereby players, old players, good players, complained that they were not paid. Even the likes of Christian Chukwuka that passed on, may his soul rest on. He complained even before he passed on that he was owned, and it made the rounds at the time. And this is just one out of the many Nigerians that are complaining. How can this be managed?
Okay, at this we have to go back to a footballer, a retired footballer, someone that understands the soul and heart of playing this game, manning NFF. The Nigeria should make sure that the people in charge of NFF will be people that played and understood what the game is all about. Not politicians, not pot-bellied politicians. Go and check all of them. I don't think they can even trap the ball. In fact, they can't even carry the ball on their hand. So how can someone like that, man, I've said it before, if a politician is overseeing a footballer, definitely it will only be just for self-aggrandizement. There's no way the affairs and the interests of the players will be the first to come to heart. So the federal government, if anything should be done, it should be let them make sure that the NFF is dissolved entirely. Then let them be a football-minded individuals. We have a lot of them out here as retired ones. Someone like Mikel Obi, he owns a podcast about football. He talks passionately. I even heard that NFF invited him, but he denied. He declined. He said it publicly. There's an interview there is out there that he can't work with corrupt politicians. So face away all these corrupt men and bring in football inclined-minded people, and you see all these things start changing. There's no way a footballer, as someone that knows what is at stake, what he feels to lose and feels to win, will be there, and the interest of the playing players and the active players will not be the first thing he has at heart.
All right, thank you so much, Dominic. Thank you for joining us this evening. It was nice having you.
Yeah, really nice. Thank you for joining us, Dominic.
Thank you too. Sorry for stressing you guys a lot.
It's fine. I mean, it's Nigeria.
It's all right.
Okay.
All right. We will go on a short break, but when we return, it's time for People's Forum. And of course, we are analyzing the Nigeria versus DR Congo match. Where exactly did we go wrong? Do stay with us. We'll be right back.